Hey guys, welcome to the channel. The Black Snake here, and today I am in London. Now I'm at a go-kart track out in Watford called Team Sport, and today marks the day that I officially start training for the British Indoor Karting Championship. Now, if you don't know, I entered it last year. That was ultimately my rookie year of driving go-karts. And it didn't end too well. I qualified for the local competition, but was not fast enough to move on to the next session. But with that behind us, I came up with a game that I'm going to play today. This is just going to be a practice session with a bunch of random people that I've never raced with before. So the skill level is going to be kind of all over the place. And I came up with a game just for this type of session. I call the game Cone Work. Now, the ultimate goal of Cone Work is to get as many points as possible, and this is something that you can play with friends. Cones are going to be considered the people that show up and they wear the helmet that's provided for them, where pros are going to be the ones that bring their own specialized gear, special helmet, special race suit, anything like that. They're considered a pro. You get 1 point if you overtake a cone, you get 5 points if you overtake a pro, and there's also points that you can get for getting the fastest lap, and I'll talk about that a little bit more.
Straight ahead.
So if you're unfamiliar with karting, again, this is going to be a practice session, and every practice session starts with an outlap. During the outlap, they're bringing all the drivers onto the track, and everybody goes around at least one time. And during that time frame, you're going to try to want to get as much heat in your tires as possible. Right in front of me, you're going to see one pro who's swerving all over the place with the sole purpose of, again, getting heat in his tires. That way he can get off to a really, really good start. A driver that doesn't warm up his tires versus the ones that do will get off to a bad start. Now, you're also going to hear me trying to talk during the video. I really, really do apologize. The audio didn't come in very well, so it's going to be pretty muffled. So go ahead, ignore that for now. Now, there are 10 drivers during this session as we go green, but it's only going to be for a short period of time. So I haven't officially started. I'm not going to count any of these points I get until after we go red. Once we go red, all the drivers will come to a complete stop. They're going to go green, and we're going to officially be off to the races. So right now, again, I'm just trying to stay close to these two guys who are both pros. If you check out their helmets, it's going to be really important that we pay attention to these two guys. So we're going to try to stay close until everything goes red, which it does here. So we're going to go ahead and park behind this guy. Once it goes green, we're going to be off to the races. Again, it's going to be 10 drivers in this session. So if we get the fastest lap, we get 10 points. If we get the second fastest lap, we get 9, so on and so forth. But here we are. The lights go green and we take off as we try to get a feel for the track. It's been a few months since the last time I raced at this track, as we're going to go ahead and get our first overtake on a cone. Now again, this is all in good fun. A lot of the people that I'm calling cones here probably don't race or take it seriously. It might be their first day on the track, but again, it's all in good fun, and it's a good way to identify those that might be newer. As I try to stick with the pros, I don't get the overtake at the same time as them, which is something that I've struggled with a lot, is being too passive. So I got to go ahead and try to get around this cone as quickly as possible to keep up with the pros. Again, the track at this point is still pretty slippery. As I stick on the racing line and I kind of fill out the cone here to figure out where I can get the overtake. We get a lot of traffic here, as we're going to go ahead and collect our second point now. But the cone's doing a really, really good job of keeping up with the group for sure. So I'm not too stressed, I'm not too worried. As you can see that they are starting to pull away just a little bit. The cone makes a big mistake, so we're able to catch up right to his bumper. He looks back because he knows he made a mistake. We're going to sit here on the inside of him and kind of put a little bit of pressure, hope he makes some mistakes into this turn, which he does not. So we're just going to hold. We're waiting for a mistake. And there he goes. He made a mistake. He went too wide into that turn. We're able to get the overtake and the point. We're still behind the pros. And right here, we get 2 quick points on a couple of cones as they go up the ramp, and we're right behind the pros. Now, the 2 pros in front of me seem to be exchanging positions as we're trying to catch up to these guys. The one in front definitely has a way better feel of the track right now than the both of us, I believe. Now, on this particular go-kart, there is a boost button which gives you a few seconds of extra speed that you can use once per lap. It is very important to find a way to be tactical when using it, as I watch the pro in front of me go a little bit too wide as I try to hug the inside, and I make a mistake here and I try to go on the outside of the cone, which I get the overtake, but I lose my chance to take advantage of the pro in front. So instead of getting the 5 points, I only get the 1 point on that last couple turns. But I'm still with him. We're sticking with him as the other pro is just too far out in front, and I'm more concerned that we're not going to catch him at all. But here we are, sticking with the other gentleman in front of us, as we're trying to figure out where he's making mistakes. We're sitting right on his bumper, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little bit confident that we might be able to get him at some point here, hopefully sooner than later, because I want to try to fight back with that other pro up ahead. But at the same time, I don't want to make a mistake, spin out, and lose a ton of points. We tried to go on the outside there, but it was not a good place to overtake. So here we are. We're about to dive in on the inside, get the overtake, and we don't hold it. I don't have enough grip on the track to hold the inside there, and I feel horrible about it. So he's able to maintain his position by fighting pretty hard there. So here we are, outside, try to get a switchback, but again, not enough grip. There's a cone there. I slow down just because I don't want to wreck. We get 1 point, but here we are, still battling with this pro, who's doing a really good job of playing defense at this point for sure. So even though I might be faster than him, his defense is so good that it might neutralize my ability to get around him. Now during this session, I do have 15 minutes to score as many points as possible. 15 minutes to at least try to get around this guy for sure, as I don't even see the other pro at all. And here we are. We're both behind another cone, so we're trying not to let him slow us down, but he bumps into the back of the cone, pushes him wide. He apologizes, but we go through. He's still in front. There wasn't enough space for me to go on the outside to overtake him. But here I am again, trying to get another switch back, but I just cannot find the... Yes, I do. I get around the outside. I managed to get the overtake around the outside. We go down the ramp. I'm trying to make sure he's not on my inside. I get the points. And I hit that barrier there as I try to go around on the turn. Now, again, I have a really good feel of this track, so I kind of know a lot of the lines. Last year during the British Indoor Karting Championship, I was about 2 seconds off the pace of the fastest guys racing. And my goal before the next competition starts is to make up those 2 seconds somehow, some way. Going up the ramp, I'm going to dive on the inside of the cone, get the overtake. And I make a mistake here, and I let this cone slow me down a lot because I tried to go on the outside, and the pro dives in on the inside, and he gets an easy overtake, and now he's really out far ahead of me just because I made a bonehead mistake, something that I hope that I learn from in the future. Here we are trying to chase him down. We got another cone in between us, and the flag goes yellow for just a split second. Now it's back green. Now, one thing that you don't want to do when the flags are yellow is overtake. That's considered an illegal overtake. So even if the guy in front of you is driving too slow, you shouldn't overtake him under yellow. But we get around him under green. I give myself a pat on the leg because I'm trying to hype myself up here. I'm not feeling as fast as I'm used to being. But again, my first time in a few months, so I'm just trying to get a feel of the track while being competitive at the same time. So we're going to go ahead, push a little bit harder. And I need to start using my boost button a lot more. I make a bad habit of not using it at all, so I'm going to make sure that I start using it on every single lap, maybe in different spots. But here we are, another yellow flag, and I'm able to use that to catch up to him a bit. And this is the reason for the yellow. We had a cone spin out, but I am going to count that as a point. So once they clear up their spin out, we should go back green, and here we are. We go back green. I'm right behind the pro again. Luckily for that yellow flag is why I was able to catch up so easy. But here we are, sticking to the racing line again, just watching them. That's one thing I like to do. I like to watch the drivers in front of me to figure out where they're better than me and where I might be better than them. But he's doing a great job of staying in front. And I think it would have been a lot harder to catch him if it wasn't for the constant yellows, which there's another one. So again, he gets backed up by the car right in front, which allows me to come right on his bumper. And here we are, we're green. So I'm looking for a mistake. He's able to go on the outside of the cone. We both get the overtake. And that last turn there is probably the hardest turn for me for some reason. I feel like I lose a lot of speed there. I haven't quite mastered that turn at all. This one I used to spin out on a lot, but I think I've done a better job of doing that. But we're right on his bumper going up the hill. And we're just going to kind of ride his bumper here for a bit. So he sees us now. He knows we're there. I'm trying to put a little bit of pressure on him to force him to make a mistake. And here we are. We get the inside going down the hill. We're going to try to hold it, leave him some room on the outside, which we do. And we get the overtake. And I think we can count the points now for that pro. And hopefully we can hold him behind us because, again, he's pretty quick. As you see me trying to look over my shoulder to figure out exactly where he is in relation to me. Now, the last time he got the overtake, I made the mistake trying to go on the outside of one of these cones. So, in my mind, I need to hold the inside no matter what and force him on the outside of each and every turn. That's my goal. And hopefully not give up a switchback for sure. But we follow this cone in. He's pretty quick. And again, if they're a cone, it doesn't mean they don't know how to drive. It just means that, you know, they didn't bring their own specialized gear. Here we are. We're going to stick behind this guy. We got a cone in front, which forces him to make a slight mistake, so we bump into him. Yeah, and we make a mistake. Trying to be, again, a little too passive. We give up the spot to the cone and we lose the points. Or to the pro, forgive me, and lose the points. So now we're back on his tail. And again, that's probably one of my biggest flaws as a driver currently is I am too passive. And it's something that I know I need to work on, and I'm hoping to do that this year. Be a lot more aggressive without, you know, ruining people's races. So I'm trying to find the perfect balance of driving clean and, you know, being aggressive. But he keeps bumping into the cone because, again, he's a little bit faster than the cone for sure. But we're right on his bumper, so again, we're waiting for another mistake. Hopefully he makes another one. And we got a nice little train going on here. And one thing is, him being behind me, I think he picked up on some of my habits with some of these turns. He goes really wide right there, but I had to follow him just to get the overtake on the cone so I don't lose him again. But yeah, whenever you're behind another driver, it's really important that you watch them, especially if they're fast. You might learn something, just like they can learn something from you. So he goes wide there, which allows me to get on the inside and put myself between him and the cone. And he cannot hold the inside because of the cone being there. And just like that, I overtake two cones. I overtake the pro. And I think I got a little bit of a gap now between me and that pro, where I can finally try and go for the fastest lap, which is something I haven't focused on at all during the session. But as I say it and realize it, there's a red flag which is going to stop me on track with clean air for the first time, which is so frustrating. You need the clean air to try to get the fastest lap, and I know the session is about to come to an end. And yeah, it's a pretty long red flag. I think I had just enough time to do one final lap, but that's going to kill it. That's going to be the end of the session, and I am going to finish with the 5th fastest time for the session, which is going to net me 7 points for a total of 31 points for my first session. Now, if you want to see my next session, go ahead, like and subscribe to the video, and let me know in the comments what you think, guys. Until next time, peace.